And we're going to be kicking things off on Lotus. If I may, by the way, I love that shirt you're wearing.
Oh, thank you.
It's so fashion forward. Unbelievable out of you. Lotus first, Corrode, Abyss, and then if we continue, we'll see what else is on the card. But WADA will be starting off on the attacking side. Much has been made of this double senti comp, of the chamber, of the deadlock, and the synergy between the two. But it doesn't seem like that's where the action is at the very beginning. It's actually Sherrod, who has been a firecracker in their own right. On the side of FYP, looking to take first contact, first shot, splits the uprights, TPs away, and lives to fight another day.
But even with that teleport going back, WADA aren't positioned to be able to quickly scale up. You have Starbound looking for a pick over into A, while 2 players work front B, 2 work into Mound as well. So WADA right now are actually putting a lot of pressure over into Starbound, who's dragged 3 players over onto their side.
Rotation starting to come through. They're already peeking ahead of the smokes. The paranoia will certainly cause problems as well.
Trap destroyed.
You have the option to flip, or they double down. They commit. WADA choosing to brute force their way out onto C, or at least attempt to, with great success up until this point.
Yeah, that wall onto Waterfall as well, making things really awkward. YFP with the pistols can't get through that space, and it means that Corruptus all alone has to call in some support from Glowstick before they get this retake going.
Rotation's coming through. Glowstick does have an eye to play with. You just got to see if there's any value on the other side of it. Meanwhile, Starbound getting a little
30
curious.
seconds left.
Wanting to explore a bit. Incredibly tender. Oh, there goes the patience. So much for that. Femboy on the swing. Glowstick on the trade.
Find you.
Just take their shot exactly when the moment arrives, and now a little fight back into spawn as well. Things getting a little scattered as YFP finds some shots, but ultimately WADA have great control now into Waterfall too.
This is a one. Oh, Starbound. Starbound like extinguishes the fire before it even really was an ember.
Yeah.
But a great pistol. All things considered for WADA.
Yeah, and you know they won their attacking pistol on this map as well versus YFP when they faced off the last time. I think that when they're allowed to play these slower rounds, give time for Starbound to look for a pick onto A, even if that kill didn't come in, you still saw just the pressure Starbound had, those rotations coming over, and it allows WADA to immediately speed up towards C to play this macro style and make sure they always have more numbers brought to the gunfights.
Ellison, it seems like there might be a little bit of aggression towards A. Choosing to fight for some of this space. You have the eye, you have the nade, and Sherrod has already been dealt with, so B site will be theirs. And while we have a moment to talk about it, we've complimented on your good looks. I want to get the value of your brain now, because what are your thoughts on this double senti comp on attack?
I mean, ultimately on attack, I think that it forces you a little bit to play slower rounds and to work the map, but I think the value of having Chamber being able to go and do a little bit more lurking ideas on their own means that you should be able to actually get onto sites, and on a 3-map site like Lotus, get into the post plants where the deadlock is going to thrive massively. Yeah, sure, you have less information, but I actually think this comp works really well on attack.
You were just mentioning Deadlock's utility. That wall is already up towards water, and well, my guess is YFP are just going to wait to die to the spike, and that gives us time to chat a little more.
I mean, let's keep talking Deadlock, because you even saw there the refresh of the net being thrown back towards spawn.
Yeah.
I think that when those changes came into Deadlock earlier this year, and now all of a sudden you get to cast 2 of those nets, maybe even 3 in a slower round, it gives you so much value on Lotus, where almost every round you're going to use that early on, because early fights over Mound and Rebel are so important, and you can, I think Dre was talking about it, stop the Chamber from doing a lot with early utility. And then, of course, you also have that as another layer into the post plant, making it very painful to make a retake happen.
Yeah. And so we'll keep a close eye on the net utilization. Astralis, plenty of reasons to be happy yesterday, and a great start for WADA, all things considered today. But now YFP on their guns. You've got a Guardian, light armor on one, regen on another. Now we'll get to see what this defensive side is truly made of with equal footing. The purchase on the side of WADA, not great here, Ender.
Yeah, and so they're going to bring some more players over towards A, right? The last few rounds, I think they've been maybe a little bit lighter, just leaving Starbound there. This time trying to show a lot more with some Prowlers as well, but still the idea is not to commit up into the space. Instead, it's just to boost Starbound up on Buzz, I like to call it.
All right, well, you're just making stuff up now.
No, that's what we call it on Teddy Tactics. Root. Root is what normal people call it. Teddy Tactics, we call it Buzz.
Buzz.
The real ones know. Yeah, like from Stacks and Buzz.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were
because he always liked to play up here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
If Starbound gets a few more kills here, I might start calling it Starbound. Who knows?
We've given you too much power. I fear.
It's better than Baby Door, okay? You can admit that at least.
Thank goodness, yes. Take a look at what Power Pixel's doing here. The smoke gives him a cross back towards C, and I mean, you've got Sherrod who's playing within range of the TP, so there's a chance to get out.
Nice little pinch play.
Very nicely done.
Even the nade as well, the utility coming in. If it wasn't a judge, that might have worked.
So because of that, Corrupt falls.
30 seconds left.
Zoriental spamming in his smoke, getting a free kill, but there's Astralis again, lighting up the kill feed, leading from the front. 3v2, the way of WADA.
And now again, look at the post plant. Double sound sensors on the 2 deep chokes. You've got the wall down as well. Like, these rounds are not going to be decided by coming into the retakes. No, it's going to be all about these opening fights and converting early. I think even when we saw these teams face off on Lotus previously, it was still WADA that had the advantage in terms of getting opening kills, but they ended up losing the map.
Cover going out.
Do a lot to YFP getting solid trades versus them. YFP also had just a lights out attacking side. So I think the YFP just need to get their rounds on this side. 5 was all they needed in the last face-off. Defense is going to be their weaker footing, but they're going to have to figure out some way to stop this spike going down round after round.
And for, I mean, if I may, I just want to give you a chance to reiterate some of what you were just talking about as WADA converts a bonus and you start to see the snowball become more of an avalanche. For WADA, is that the win con? Once you get into post plants, you're kind of set?
Oh, absolutely. Like, you're almost completely set, because not only do you have all that utility to stop out the chokes, but you've still then got, you know, Starbound. If you have a teleport still ready to go, you can leave Starbound on site with an easy teleport away. I just think it becomes so much easier to play these post plants with the utility that WADA are going to have at their disposal. And frankly, I don't know if the answers are necessarily going to be there for YFP on the retakes outside of the big ult rounds when they have those.
Sure. Those tend to be the great equalizer. Classic little triple high-low. You love to see that one.
Sleep.
And WADA, again, just kind of cracked the map wide open. YFP not in a position to fight back, or shoot back, really.
Yeah. But I love this as an anti-eco protocol coming from WADA. Think about the last 3 rounds. They showed very minimal presence towards A. Then the last round, they show more presence, but it's still a fake. This round, anti-eco, don't take any chances. 5 players just bulldoze that side of the map. It's like clockwork for them.
And that was, again, going into that triple high-low that we talked about. Sherrod falls at the hands of Femboy. The judge, once again, joins the fray as WADA get up to 4. And once again, we're in a position where YFP are going to be able to buy back and see what they can make happen here, this time with an op in the hands of the chamber.
Yeah, and that's great news for YFP. The bad news is this is a major swing round for them still. Yeah, they've maxed out their loss bonus, but they're down to no money, and there's 2 killer ults on the other side for the Deadlock and the Fade. So this is kind of the round to determine what this half is going to look like for YFP. They need to win this round, but they're going up against pretty heavy odds.
I'll find you.
Early one-way smoke towards C to fight for that space. Meanwhile, back towards this noise, towards this aggression towards A. And this does not look like a fake under.
Soft needs something.
Oh, TP's out of it.
Hey, I mean, we'll take that. That's 1 ultimate down. Still a Nightfall to be dealt with. But now the problem is WADA heard that chamber teleport. They know how much money Sherrod had. So they know the ops on this side of the map. So now they can slow things down and start to catch YFP with maybe a little re-aggro up mid.
That does seem to be where they're headed. 2 members make that 3 on the side of YFP. Within close proximity, and a trip as well. Paranoia just a little bit off the mark. Femboy goes forward, grabs 1, traded back though. And now they're going to accelerate, but keep an eye on the mini.
I don't know.
It's a fake.
Yeah, a little fake with the audio denial. Now a door being tapped onto the A site. Sherrod, is it going to be there? The shot wins.
Just off the mark. We highlighted the value of the op and how it needed to provide a little spark. Second time, not a charm either. Starbound, the bullet between Sherrod's eyes, and another kill found. WADA continue to roll over YFP.
Down A.
Hold on, though. 20 seconds left onto the clock. Starbound needs to get the spike and plant. All the while, this lurk from Juna activates. She is in the perfect position.
Juna's been so steady for WADA, but not able to convert this time around, leaving Starbound in a 1v2 with an outlaw with no other weapon option. What? A little early, pre-fire, and the Headhunter's not going to find it. Close stick with 4 as YFP finally get on the board.
That wasn't on my bingo card right there. The early shots onto the teleporting Omen. A little bit antsy in a high-pressure moment, but this is exactly what YFP needed, right? They can't afford losing that round, and now, not only do they keep some guns alive, keep the op alive, get the round on the board, but they have also chewed up two of the best ults in the game on the other side. It doesn't get any easier. There's still going to be a showstopper coming in and whatnot, but that is the start of something now for YFP in this first half.
Might just be a crumb, but you're right. There's something you can build off on here.
Yeah, the alternative was losing this and being cooked for the next 3 rounds.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. This is infinitely better than the alternative. Well said. I really, we can continue to talk about the Sherrod Starbound matchup. I feel like Starbound is just confident swinging every single fight, and Sherrod does not look nearly as comfortable in that position.
And it's a little bit of a different moment right now for YFP after, getting big upsets in the upper bracket, now being down in the lower bracket where everything is riding on this series after a tough one yesterday. And now more pressure mounting on C.
That fuse has been lit, and there's nobody home. So you're going to get the space, but no lethality found.
But that's okay, right? Again, think about the post plant wall onto Waterfall, now looking for a fight up with the judge inside of that smoke.
Yeah, you're right.
Hello, what?
That was not part of the plan. Juno on the trade. Femboy scaling up. We talked about just how good Juno has been in a position to deliver for WADA once more in the face of 3, waiting on the other side. Drone spotted, cleared, but position given away. Surely you know where the fight's headed. Sherrod able to best. Just not going to be enough, though, leaving Power in a 1v2.
Doable.
Very doable. All about positioning, all about time. And what in the world is taking YFP so long? They've got to get a move on. They've got to scurry up. Just a tap. There's the swing. Stops the diffuser. I don't know that there's enough time. Beautifully played from Power. What?
Just the patience from that position on Ben for the Red Bull clutch out of Power. Choosing to just full ignore Corrupt and get the kill on the diffuser, knowing there was not enough time left on the clock. And I think you can see as a timeout is called, I would call one too, after a round like that. The fact is, even though it's a 2-on-1, the amount of time you're saying, why are they waiting so long? Well, they're worried about, well, we haven't seen Power in forever. Is that going to be a re-wrap through Waterfall into our spawn? Did Power just sit in Waterfall now that the wall has gone down? Like, surely Power isn't just playing back on site, full baiting the team. Turns out that's exactly what they were doing, and YFP had no clue that was even an option.
And so there's that timeout that you mentioned from the side of YFP. We've just been able to put up one meager round on the defensive side of Lotus. This is WADA's map pick, and this is a marathon and not a sprint. But, boy, WADA are out of the gates looking much more comfortable and much more confident as opposed to the opposition. I mean, a lot of these stars that we've talked about on the side of YFP they've been silhouettes. They've been shells of the players that we've come to expect.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the scoreboard looks a little bit upside down compared to the last time these teams played on Lotus, where it was Zoriental and Corrupt just taking over inside of the server. So far, it's been very muted out of them, and I think that part of that has been the locations they're trying to pick these early fights usually haven't been the right place WADA are playing, because WADA are really eating up the clock and trying to work into the weaker sites. This might be the first time we see, actually no, it's another A fight, but it's again when YFP don't have guns.
Remember last time both teams decided that this was going to be the setting in which they wanted to brawl? It was a slaughter. This time, though, YFP, great use of utility, don't even really allow WADA to get in a position in the first place.
Yeah, the difference is this time, well, there's a chamber ult online, so WADA don't just blindly rush into the space. They recognize, hey, there's pressure here, probably going to be that chamber too, so they can now threaten back and just even look at how they're pushing and pulling YFP around the map. It looks like they want to go back and re-clear A perhaps, but what they've done is just full bait YFP onto C.
You got to be careful here, though, because with all of this time and all of this lack of information, you run the risk, if you will, the possibility of strolling into the wrong site, where there might be a stack, where there might be a trap, and these are the messy ones.
Yeah, because right now, I think for the last 20 seconds, they were expecting YFP on the eco to overplay their hand a bit, to go for a walk-up, front B, out back into C once again. Now that that hasn't come in, as you're saying, 40 seconds on the clock, a little bit of time pressure now, being a little bit more committed over into looking at a B pop.
Paranoia out. Fortunately for them, another vacant site found.
30 seconds
I mean,
left.
this is just great macro calling and prep too. So often finishing into the B site with this deadlock wall placed into water, setting up, getting this plant down relatively easily.
Planted.
Oh, second time's the charm, I guess. And now the rocket popped. Numbers advantage, the way of the defense. Starbound joins the fray, gets into the fight, able to trade it back at least a little bit.
Juna behind
But the
enemy lines.
advantage still so great, and Juna is on the flank. Juna is on the prowl. But Power, once again, left in a 1vx situation. Once again, called upon to deliver for the team, pull off a clutch. But Scary Shark's just going to stick the defuse the entire way through. A thrifty round and a desperately needed one for YFP.
Yeah, YFP do everything right there on the retake. First thing first, they had players ready to bust down that deadlock wall and act swiftly, instantly committing the ultimate. That's 2 ults committed. The Raze and the Chamber on an eco round, but they liked their odds and it pays off big time for them.
What else can they capitalize on here? What else can they turn as far as momentum goes? Because you think about the last round they won, it immediately turned into a stomp, and all of a sudden YFP were on the back foot once more.
Yeah, well, I think that if these rounds do turn a little bit slower, YFP just need to get the right mid-round information to be able to anticipate these hits for the retake a little bit more.
Very far back.
Ult back on behind.
Fully committing onto it. Juno, once again, repositioning. It's been the thorn in their side, but this time Glowstick easily pulls it out.
And yet Femboy's got the judge. Of course they do.
Right.
Now posted up again. You have to, again, break down this wall. Hasn't been done, but this time Nora has a flank opportunity.
And there goes that opportunity squelched. Meanwhile, Gold committed out onto the site. YFP getting a lot of value back, taking a lot of space back alongside it. Numbers advantage. Again, the opportunity to turn this into momentum, to turn this into some sort of an advantage. But the post play, the position that has been so strong for WADA. Once again here, this time the frags come through, the defuse does as well. YFP showing signs of life.
Yeah, YFP seem very ready for these forward fights. You think about it a few rounds ago when WADA were in a similar position and fought all the way back towards spawn, and there was just spam going through from Nora's Omen into the smoke, getting a couple of kills. This time, anticipating that judge being close and just winning out in those fights, unloading a whole lot of utility. They're acting a lot quicker, I think, than they had been in previous rounds on the retakes. They're not wasting any time, and with the ultimates to commit into the play, they're able to actually breach through those choke points.
Right. Would you say that's a strategic adjustment? Is that more of a confidence situation on what's going on, or what is the impetus for a change like that? Because that has been the difference maker the last, what, 3 out of the last 4 rounds?
Yeah, 2 things. First off, yes, you're right, it's strategic. Primarily, they're getting better reads in the mid-rounds of just like where the site hit is going to be. So like that round, remember, WADA used the Fade ult onto Mound. That's a huge tell. So YFP were already kind of zooming towards the C site, so they're there to breach back in. The round before, while there wasn't that much of a tell, WADA went for a B pop when there were 3 players on C, so YFP were very quickly able to move those players over, break down the deadlock wall, get that retake going. So yes, there's a little element of strategy in terms of figuring out quickly where WADA are finishing, but the second one is those ultimates. I think they have been a checkmate. The previous round, the Raze ult got them in, then just last round, while the Teo ultimate didn't actually get any kills. It did push players back and split up the members of WADA, and that's why they were able to, I think, win that fight so convincingly back towards spawn.
And so on the other side of that timeout, WADA on a busted buy. You've got a Bucky and a Guardian. Actually, I say it's a busted buy, but I forget that there's Starbound on the team, and Starbound has Headhunter, and that is often a difference maker. Really pacey up towards Worm.
There it is.
Starbound with the line. Shot in the back of the head. Starbound gets a second.
Sound sensor up.
Yeah, Root's new name is Starbound. Deciding it after that one, so easy. Just opens up the A site. Dude,
So
their
fickle.
team was hitting B site, and they just decided they were going to take A site on their own. Successfully, mind you.
So fickle.
On an eco, mind you.
Now they have weapons upgraded. Back to full rifles. Sight entirely theirs. The money's in a weird spot, but forget about the money. They might be able to snatch this round back in a 5v3. Still 3v2 now. Astralis has ult as well, and that might just be the trump card. As Sherrod drops the TP. Femboy looking for space. And it's just a tap. It's just a threat. And Femboy takes the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. And now the ult used. Astralis gets the last. Very nicely done as WADA get back to their winning ways.
Yeah, WADA quite literally going fishing there with the deadlock ult as well. We got a big one! Astralis reeled him in on that. That's a nice round out of Starbound. Even choosing not to pick up any of the guns that they had claimed over onto A, decided to let their teammates pick those up and play out a solid post plant.
Let me take a look at that one more time. Starbound with the, you know, it is always poetic when we set things up like that, and it is exactly how it delivers. But Starbound and Astralis have been rocks for this team.
Without a doubt.
So into the next we go. Starbound still has an op in play. Pushed off by the Paranoia right off the bat, and a seize, and a nade, and a smoke. A main, not open for business.
I want to see YFP hold on to this space. Right now it looks like they might even fight forward, but I think YFP need forward lines of information like the one Shared's holding right now.
You got to find value on the other side of it. TP's away.
And tough opening duels for Sherrod so far. A lot of TPs away and giving up the space. And this is the scary part of playing the map from YFP is once you lose all that space, you're not getting it back. So now Nora is the only piece of information anywhere on the map. And WADA seem to have ideas at sending Starbound her way.
Yeah, that was close.
There.
What's the idea here? And you've got the spike rotating towards A. I thought they were going to leave 3 at B, but no.
Primarily here,
joining outside of A.
Expecting Nora to have fully fallen back and giving up another one of those forward lines. YFP are playing very limited information, and previous rounds would tell YFP that the B pop is coming. WADA haven't done enough conditioning to convince them of that and make this A hit a little bit more surprising.
Oh, they might end up B as well.
Okay.
They are, but Oriental's in the right place at the right time. 3 kills for the duelist. And disaster for WADA. Make that 4. The ace on the card, satcheling out, looking for it. And rewarded. The ace for Zoriental.
Absolutely killer, rolling up for the iBUYPOWER ace. WADA maybe overcooking things a little bit because Zoriental just shut them down. What a fight here. I mean, everyone just comes flooding right on into them. You even have the supporting fire of the missiles as well. Beautiful work out of YFP.
I mean, to go from we think we have A, we should be able to fight it. No, let's split B through Worm, and for it to fall apart that way is... Oh, that one hurts.
Perhaps we go back to B6 a little bit here. Pressure down mid. It's just pistols in their hands, apart from Juna. And, of course, Starbound.
And there's Starbound.
Oh, yeah.
And Starbound strikes again.
Yeah, we had to pull away from that one because it's just too painful for YFP fans to watch Starbound continue to find multiple kills every round to start it off.
Femboy's pushing forward now as well. WADA flirting with yet another Thrifty. Barring heroics from the defensive side. And I don't think those heroics are going to be in play here. Not anytime soon. You take a look at the money. Maybe you go for it, but a 1v4 like this, I don't see the value.
Not much of a shot, to be sure. And now, I do want to think a little bit about how these teams faced off the previous time. Because like I said, last time, YFP only needed 5 rounds on defense to win the map. Now, this should have been their 5th round. They're in a good position against an eco of WADA's. They've now missed that opportunity. So I think a lot more is going to be riding on this next round when, yeah, they only needed 5 rounds on defense the previous time, but that was a 13-11 scoreline. This could be very different. If WADA come into the next half up 8-4, then you think about pistol rounds potentially going their way. This is a very different situation to be in.
Thrifty.
And a Thrifty round comes through. The second one for WADA.
Last round
As they're now knocking on the door of an 8-4 half and a great attack side.
Mirror ultimates actually heading into this one. Showstopper Nightfall on both sides. And what this very likely ends up meaning for YFP is that we see them again in a retake position. They want to, quickly fall away from the site so that they can bait out those 2 big ultimates and then use their own to come right back on in. I think WADA, if they can play a slower round, or they can get more information and find a weak site and not have to commit both of those ultimates onto the head, are going to be in a very good position.
Trying to peek ahead of the smoke. The eye will confirm that someone's waiting on the other side.
It's now the test. Do we just end up leaving the operator here on Starbound? No, it's just going to be 5 players hitting into the site. Just a nightfall should be the hope for them. And they don't commit the showstopper. I like this pattern to get into the site from WADA. Now with the wall and the teleport forward from Juna. Keep your eyes on Stairs. She is on a warpath.
Again, Juna goes exploring it again. Juna's left without a kill. But they did manage to get the spike down. They do have Astralis' utility up, and they do have Femboy's full belt of utility, including the ult. And there's a rocket pop traded on the other side. With the Nightfall to pave the way, is Oriental not going to find their mark. As Astralis looks for the swing, finds it, and WADA completely snuff out this retake attempt. Just 2 members left on the side of YFP, and they don't really have the tools to do this. They don't really have the time to do it either. Side by side, shoulder to shoulder, 1 kill's found, but still 3 to be netted, and that's just, there's no shot. Astralis puts away the last as WADA put up 8 on their attack side.
Yeah, it's a great half to start things off for WADA. I was very pleased with how they played a lot of these slow rounds, and even just the ideas going into the last round there as well. Making sure Femboy has the rocket for the post plant completely stunts any attempt for YFP to come back into the site. But this is where YFP feel much stronger on their attacking side. This is where we saw Zoriental and Corrupt absolutely dominate the previous time. And for a team that very nearly took down Shopify Rebellion just last night, you gotta know they've got something cooking up for the second half.
Sure. Now, flex for me again a little bit here, because we talked about the double senti compound attack, and we talked about the deadlock value of the sound sensors and the wall and the delay and this, that, and the other, but defensively, surely that doesn't play the same way.
It plays very differently. The main difference is having the chamber means that you have very little active information in terms of abilities in your kit, but you want to hold forward lines. That makes up for it, and little walks like these give you options.
Starbound inserted, Corrupt, playing with fire. Just a shoulder, TP's away.
But even look at that. Even as the teleport goes back, check out Mound. Juna's step forward. This is a difference in how YFP and WADA play. YFP are usually falling back on defense. WADA are always ones to take a more forward position just like this on your screen.
They're making a lot of noise towards A, but it is all a fake. Juna's the only one up and goes a bit too far. That's going to open things up. That's going to give him a free C site.
Yep. Dre was complimenting the prep of YFP in their previous series on the desk, and you can even see it there. Very good patience, expecting a walk forward, even just being there ready to re-clear. As this fight does go what it does play, big pressure on the flank is going to make YFP want to actually flip and fight back in towards spawn.
Yeah, a little damage out though. I mean, Power's left to 12 HP, so it wasn't without dropping a dink on the way. What are you looking for here? Well, actually, I mean, that might just secure it. We talked so much about how Sherrod was not really able to fight back in the first half, but a proper belter of a start to kick things off in the second. But the spike still a problem. WADA starting to push a 1v1. Sherrod's so weak, and Femboy does not lose those.
That is absolutely major. Both pistol rounds secured for WADA. Now moving up to 9. Sherrod had a great round, but at the end of the day, in this post plan, I think Femboy just does a little bit better. First of all, is ready for that fight back into spawn. You know, was the player that was sent sort of on their own to get the job done, and they do exactly that.
And so off of that, WADA, again, they win the second pistol, as you mentioned. They've won the last 3 rounds, going back into the second half. They've got an outlaw in the hands of Starbound, and I think as you mentioned in the previous round, Ender, the ability to put the chamber up in some of these aggro lines and deny some space, especially in rounds like this, will be troublesome. But
it's a force
YFP,
up.
Yeah, they're buying.
3 players with full armor to try and face into Starbound here. They have to deal with this chamber, and they've done a good job with the suppression. That's a great opener again from Sherrod.
But there's a judge.
There always is.
Trouble. Oh, the judge is trouble. That's 2. 3. Oh. Unbelievable. The third I thought wouldn't deliver. But lo and behold, between Femboy and Power, that's a WADA round win. They get to 10.
And that round was to kind of stay alive for YFP. put so much into it to make sure they could win it. And yeah, they checked off the one box, which was deal with the chamber and deal with that long-range gun. Sure, they did that beautifully. The utility, the suppression, but that judge is always going to be there from Femboy.
Yep. And to get 3 there is just quite silly, to be honest. Yeah.
I like that we're thinking the same thing.
Great minds.
Oh, man. Something like that, but now YFP, they can't even go back to the well and go for another force. Things a little bit grim for them.
Even the drone not getting the tag lets Starbound stay in this aggro line. Doesn't even have to step back to respect it. And
look at the map. You're suffocated.
Yeah.
Forward deadlock wall A. Forward chamber on the outlaw, killing you on C. Okay, so you have to go B. What if you don't want to go B? Yeah, there's a trip here. There's 2 players. WADA are in position to open the door if they wanted to. Like, there's no right answer for YFP.
I mean, WADA are playing them like they're on puppet strings, forcing them to play the way they want to play on the map that they want them to play.
Yep, there's a door pass, paranoia, a collapse.
Spike down.
WADA in full control here seem to be incapable of doing wrong. That was a nice shot, but oh no. Oh no, oh no.
Well, they've certainly done it to him.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and break that one down?
Not particularly.
That last kill there? That's not you?
I'd rather think about joyful things, hopeful things. The fact
that so how about this for a little hope?
Yeah?
Yeah, you've got full guns, you've got light armor on Corrupt, yes, but maybe you play around Glowstick being 2 points off of their ult, and you got a shot at putting something together?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Let's worry about breaking this high-low first. That's the first box to check.
A little bit of utility should help, but the eye from mid does a little something, and that high-low is not broken. Well, actually, hang on, hold the phone. YFP punching back.
Yeah, good trades coming out of that one, especially being ready for that player coming out from B. Now they can open up the door, move into the A site. Femboy does have an ultimate. That is the only thing that's a little bit concerning, and there are some bodies with some upgrades.
And there are satchels.
1 kill, and you can rip the showstopper. That's all you need is 1.
I mean, you're up 7 rounds. Do you even need to wait that long? That's 1 satchel used. Femboy with the tap of the door. There's the second.
Player standing.
No value found. It's all going to be on Starbound, which is often plenty. I mean, I say that like that might not be enough, but Nora holds the line. YFP gets to 5, and there's some of there's some of the joy you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, hey, YFP, they're able to trade themselves out. Sure. Did YFP or did WADA not have full guns? Yes. Is there a technical pause that could be related to the previous? Possibly. We don't know. I don't want to speculate. There's no real answer on that front yet. We'll get that to you as soon as we know. But yeah, let's stay positive. Let's say that that YFP are no strangers to stringing a whole lot of rounds together on their attacking sides, and that's a very good start to potentially doing just that.
I'm glad you're the positive one of this duo that kind of keeps me on the straight and narrow, because if not for, I mean, I'd be lost without you.
See, look, I'm a pessimist by nature, so as soon as I put the headset on, I have to try real hard to skirt the other direction.
Well, I got some updates. I got some info, some news for you good people who are listening at home. Oh, and for you as well. I kind of forgot that it was
about it, Doug.
Yeah, kind of forgot that you were here as well. There's a router that's resetting, and there are naturally network issues because of that. So I'd like to tell you that we're going to be back into this very quickly, expeditiously, even some might say, but that would be a bold-faced lie built on literally nothing other than assumptions and well wishes. So as soon as we get some info as to how quickly we'll get back into the action, we will let you all know. But for now, we do have a bit of a tech pause.
Beautiful.
Pausa técnica, some might say.
You know what? Since we have a little bit of time, I think I'm contractually obligated. I'm not, because I was never paid by them. But I do wanna shout out the old squad Teddy Tactics.
Unbelievable.
We had Cal Sushi playing.
I can't let
yesterday.
you do this.
Well, no. This is meaningful. This is meaningful because we saw a beautiful start to the game for WADA, and I just want everyone to know that former Teddy Tactics player, Kestrel has been doing a lot of anti and strats for the team and working with them closely. So when you see a lot of the nice stuff and the pretty macro out of WADA, I choose to say that's 100% her doing.
Are you going to get to the point where you say it's because Kestrel learned that from you, from your time as a head coach at Teddy Tactics?
I wasn't even going that direction.
Yeah, can we accelerate? Can we just get to the punchline, please?
Yeah. So basically, I'm winning today. No, I'm not. No, I would never say that. But I have worked with Kestrel, and she brings a lot of ideas to the table. So
yeah, I mean, and a lot of it has been quite good. And has kind of gotten them up until this point. Friends, if you are just tuning in and you are just joining us, it has been a WADA stomp, really, for the vast majority of it. Even Thrifty's going their way a couple of times in the first half, and you've had YFB who have been in this fight at least a little bit, but they certainly don't look like they're emerging from their corners looking healthy and ready for another brawl, at least on Lotus. But Ender, that's the beauty and a joy of a 5-map series, is that, or potentially 5-map series, I should say, is that you can brush something like this off if need be, because you've got plenty of other maps that you can duke it out on.
Yeah, it almost goes two different directions when I think about best of fives. The first is that absolute, like, you have more time to brush it off. If you go 0-2, maybe things get a little bit different, but there is also an element of when you're playing in some of your first big game best of fives, right? YFP, brand new team here, versus a WADA that have been playing best of fives all year. They won kickoff playing best of five, so this is very familiar territory for them, and the hurdle for YFP is trying to not only brush off a tough game if they end up losing this, but potentially needing to come back and win 3 games on a day where you could be playing up to 5, and that is exhausting.
Yeah, and I mean, again, for you mentioned experience and how some of that can be a massive factor for teams who've been in these positions, much like WADA have been a couple of times. So I am being told that the delay is done, and players are loading back into the game. And so fortunately, you got to listen to us podcast for a little bit, and then the podcast episode is over. Speaking of podcasts, listen to Duo Q, the latest podcast with Lexi and Mel. It is a banger. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Twitter, all social media platforms. Like, comment, retweet, subscribe. Yes, we are getting back into the action here in just a moment. Again, WADA, this is their map pick, Ender, but it has been a dominant showing. I mean, they're just kind of running circles around YFB and being able to convert on both pistols, and Starbound playing the way that they are, and then Astralis has been an absolute gem for this team. I mean, that duo has been insane.
Astralis and Starbound just unstoppable in the server, especially in a lot of the opening fights. But I do think that I've seen the signs of life I need to have a little bit of faith in YFP. Primarily, I think Sherrod getting some opening kills, even in lost rounds. But you think about both, I mean, the pistol primarily, but I think in the last round as well, getting the first there. And also, I think the scrap over A main in the last round, where, they lost the early fights, but then they're always getting the trade outs and being ready for the next angle a player from WADA is going to be swinging from. So I don't think that it is necessarily all over just yet, but the next round and the round after that, once we get a better look at the money, I think are going to be very pivotal. When you look at the ultimates coming online, when you look at the fact that, well, if YFP lose this, they're only going to have 2 players that can buy into the next round. This one means everything for them.
And they only have 2 rounds that they can really afford to lose. So you're being asked to play borderline perfect Valorant the rest of the way here if you're YFB. And it's something they will have to figure out. Back into the action we go. A little bit of noise and a little bit of curiosity towards B.
Locating targets.
Yeah, WADA playing a lot more reserved than the previous rounds. It's actually Femboy sitting with a judge. It's always the shotguns for them inside a tree, and a showstopper there as well. So if that door is tapped, you better believe we're going to see the rocket come out, and YFP are regrouping to move back into the A site. This is a dangerous site. Both the ultimates for WADA. To be able to get those off without just getting walked up on, it could be lights out for YFP.
This freeze on the round doesn't communicate to me that they're trying to play towards misdirection. I don't.
It's weird because they're not really getting any information other than this wall going down. They have to deal with the rocket here. I don't know how they're going to do it.
They're going to have to find a way. The Roomba doesn't even tag Femboy. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Better late than never. Nobody passes, and now the tap of the door. They've invested the Nightfall. The Rockets popped on the other side. We're
What
going to
is
utility.
happening?
What's the play? Femboy botches it, not able to convert. And off that, they accelerate back towards B. And now they have the space. Now they have the time.
How does Juno want to play it? You can see over into Mound, has the option to open up the door, but the rest of WADA are so passive right now. Hoping that YFP go for an aggro look themselves. I don't really know what the direction is going to be for them to get back into the site.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're given that opportunity. Maybe Juno with a tap and a crunch, and they try to flood in at the same time. The eye just cleared A main, make sure there's nobody there. Remember, Charlotte does still have ult in play. Speaking of which, now pushed back on the other side of smoke. The C's is going to be really good. Delay upon delay. But Corrupt decides to face check, and it's just too much. Spike is so low, though. I don't know if there's enough time for this. It doesn't matter. There's not enough health either. YFP get to 6.
Honestly, I think WADA got a little bit iced. It's coming out of the tech pause there. A little bit shaky, the situation that happened in Tree, but then just spending way too much time on the retake. I think after about 15 seconds there, you just have to call not to play the round out. The positioning from them was way too tough, especially with an operator in Starbound's hand to actually get back into the site. I think that YFP sort of picked up on those dropped pieces of WADA called back into the B site, which was exactly the right call for them in the mid round.
And now you take a look at the buy for WADA. It's not great. And Starbound's popped ult. Astralis has a rifle. Actually, Femboy has the best weapon in the game for them, so I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah. A side is where WADA really hope YFP head. YFP come into A, there's a real shot in this round. If they don't, I'm not so sure.
Bring them down.
Another tap of that door.
YFP are really hoping that WADA go for an eco walk-up. That just has not been the case just yet. See some pings on the minimap, hearing that boombot head out into sand. What that does is it forces a little bit more utility to make sure they clear away these close corners, and that allows WADA to start shifting Juno over. Have 2 players ready to respond to this hit.
That nade's not going to feel good. Yeah, that felt terrible. Femboy's down to 40 HP. No armor.
Scouting ult as well, seeing the shotgun right there.
Uh-oh, that ult is good. That ult's going to tag a lot of people, but Glowstick holds the line, stands strong. Besting Starbound. And now Oriental able to speed up. You still have a couple of members playing on site, but they're not really in a position to punch back. YFP get to 7.
These rounds for YFP are really being won in the pause time, right? Like in all of these rounds, whether it's in the post plant 2 rounds ago or right there, after that initial C fight goes down, they then hold their ground, start spamming smokes. As soon as that door is tapped and opened, they turn around and challenge the line, actually besting Starbound with the chamber up in hand. It's these moments to collect themselves that I think are very much favoring YFP right now and helping them out to work their way through very chaotic situations.
Yeah. It's gotten them this far.
Bring them down.
And the ult, I mean, you still have Astralis' ult. We talked about it in the previous round. So still in play. But no aggro line from the defense this time.
Yeah, Starbound will find a position on front B. The chance to take a shot with that if they wanted the deadlock ult behind it, if there were more footsteps coming. Could always click into that. But it seems a little bit difficult for YFP because they are trying to play slower rounds and get information, but it's turned into this second part of the half where WADA just aren't actually signaling where any of their players are being. They're giving so much space on the map, expecting YFP to really take their time and maybe get down to a time crunch in the late round.
It's like a war of attrition. Or like a game of chicken.
Yeah. There's a timing now, though, after the Haunt didn't see anything, for YFP to make a move up into the space. The smoke goes down. They knew the position power through that from, and can now actually accelerate quickly on VA side.
With a little bit of utility, you've got the dog, or the Prowler, excuse me, you have the Paranoia, the suck on drop, and it's, I mean, they have full sight. The question is how they choose to retake here.
Yeah, just off of that ultimate, because the paranoia is the only real piece they have to get back into the site. But there's only 10 seconds left on the clock.
Down
And the spike is sitting on the ground. Very Shark now having to double down and try to get that thing through. Will succeed. And so far, so good, but numbers starting to dwindle for YFP, a 4v3 for the defense. WADA on a really nice position here. Now the ult has been popped from Shard on the other side. Immediately put back down, sent into the next round. WADA on a beautiful position to put this round away to get to map point, and that's exactly what they'll do.
Good fight right there from WADA, sending so many resources into stopping the spike from being planted. And that was the idea the whole round. Remember, what they were not stepping forward anywhere across the map. And what does that mean? It means YFP are cautious the whole time. They're timidly creeping up into the space. They're execing with 30 seconds left on the clock. And WADA can use their util, their ultimates, and just their bodies to pressure YFP into not really being able to plant the spike comfortably and having to just walk out one by one and take unfavorable fights.
All right, a little bit more hope, if I may.
Okay.
Zoriental, one off of Rocket. Glow Stick has ult. We've talked about just how valuable those two ults can be in conjunction. There's something here.
Yeah, early scouting from YFP did see a player front B. I don't think they're wasting any time this round. I think it's just a time to rip it into the A site with a Nightfall.
Face your fear.
You would be correct, my dear friend. There's a Nightfall ripped out onto the site. The spike is still waiting on the other side of the deadlock wall. But yeah, their intentions are very clear right now. They have their eyes set on A.
Better post plant. Now a good position with a little high-low setup looking at the rope.
Zoriental eats that paranoia. Oh, that ult is not going to feel good either. Corrupt pushing them back and Starbomb is forced into the fight. They were not ready to, not wanting to take a little friendly fire, but that's okay. All good as long as you win this out. Astralis left in a 1v3. Now 2. 32 HP. There's the chamber. There's the 3K. There's 8 for YFP.
So what's different that round? How are YFP able to win it? Literally just moving quicker, right? They saw there was a chamber player front B, so they speed up into A, and then A, they're able to plant the spike comfortably, right? Not having to worry about time. And then I really liked the forward position they went from. Zoriental boosting up onto the box and backside, not falling off the angle, even after the blind went down onto them. I think that's a one round, even without committing the Armageddon to the post plant. If they can capture that again, they're going to be in a really good spot.
WADA surely are having very similar discussions to what you were just highlighting, realizing that YFP are inching closer and closer to this comeback. They've won 4 out of the last 5 rounds. They seem to have figured out their pace, and they've seemed to have figured out their time on these attack sides. And WADA, I don't, perhaps giving them too much space.
I think so. And I think that the adjustment I would like to see made here is this round, I truthfully don't care. It's a throwaway. It's an eco. Don't show exactly what the hard read is going to be. But in round 22, I want to see them switch to fighting very aggressively for the forward space on A Rebel. I think if you dominate that space with 3 players right off the rip, you're going to throw off what YFP's success story has been so far. And very likely, YFP are going to be trying to go there again after this eco round.
Yeah. And look, I've casted this game for 5 years now, and there have been too many times that I've seen a map end on a thrifty situation. And then, if I may remind you good people of the 2 thrifties that WADA won in the first half, this is not secure. This is not easy.
Yeah, I call it a throwaway round because you don't really, have to use your best strat going into it, but it's still a threatening round for sure, especially with 3 players all bundled up on C.
Oh boy. This has trouble written all over it. Paranoid traded, Power Pixel waiting on the other side. Astralis the first to fall, and there it is, the top of the door. There's Power with 2. But the rifles erupt, and so do the frags for YFP.
Tripwire triggered over onto the A side, so this one is certainly going YFP's way. I really am curious what the attitude is going to be heading into round 22.
On what? Tell me more.
Well, primarily from WADA, if they're going to keep playing the same, passive style, or if they are going to go for the early fight. Ready. I also am a little bit worried about the ultimates that are going to be there. Zoriental has the showstopper, so there's worlds where that could discourage WADA from playing forward, but actually, when I see big ults like that, I think it almost should tell you the opposite, right? Where if you can actually seek out earlier fights, there's a high chance that you actually kill the Raze as one of the first 2 players that's going to be swinging every angle and just instantly taking that big ability out of the equation.
All right, what's the situation here? An op for Starbound, as is expected. Power with the ult. And there is no early bunch. There is no early group up. Like, it looks like they're going to want to fight. I think they're expecting a little bit of A main aggression as well. You take a look on the minimap where our Femboy are playing. Astralis as well. Being ready to fight on the other side of the door if that's where it's headed.
Fire in the hole!
There's the rocket. Oh, just off the mark. Apparently traded.
It gets the job done, right? The teleport away, Showstopper now not going to be a factor into the round, even if you don't get a kill. That's a big win for WADA.
And immediately the round slows down once more. Roomba's going to tag someone outside of B.
Nora's been using a lot of these ultimates just to scout the early space and try to figure out where the judge is going to be in Femboy's hands. We've seen it on C, now in B main. It's consistent anti against the rattiness of the judge play.
No escape.
That'll buy a little bit of time. And there's that stall. Dude, look at that stall. They can't get out B even if they wanted to.
Look at Jared.
Has slipped the net, and so now you know, ahead of the smokes, there is safe passage. All the utility delayed for just long enough, and now the smokes dissipate, and now Femboy's on the swing. The spike goes down anyway. Now the Nightfall invested. YFP pushing pace, looking to go forward. And Zoriental with 3 on the round. Starbound left alone. Do you save the op here?
There's just no way to play it.
You have to, right?
Yeah, Starbound needs players to walk into them, but it's not going to happen. Just a beautiful round out of Zoriental, even after the start, which was so scary, right? There is a world where Starbound hits the shot onto the Raze at 1 minute and 38 seconds on the clock, and this game is already won from WADA. We would already be done with it, but Zoriental not going down at the beginning is the difference for WADA to get their 10th.
Yep. And Starbound's not able to save the op. That's devastating.
Look at the money. 200, 350, 150, 50. Like, there's nothing for WADA. We're heading into round 24 to see if we're doing OT or WADA will take map 1.
This is crunch time. I mean, Starbound doesn't even have the ult. A stinger for Femboy, but this is all about the setup, at least in my eyes, for the next round.
100%.
If Femboy can get ult online, you know, those are often the difference makers.
Yeah, I mean, very likely it's 2 ults for WADA versus 0 from YFP. Like, YFP are a long ways off anyone getting it online. If this was Abyss, I would tell WADA to jump off the map, truthfully, and deny orbs from going over.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of aggression outside of C. They've taken all of Mound. 3-man flank.
Yeah.
Coming around the other side.
There is still a trip protecting YFP's back. Now an orb for Zoriental. So 3 kills. Can Zoriental manage it?
Do you smoke off the trip?
There.
They're going to smoke off the trip.
Okay.
They're going to find safe passage around.
Oh, but
There.
Sharad's
This has
turned
some
around.
legs, but you're right. Sharad already looking that way.
Well,
the timing has been missed. Sharad has no idea. Oh, but they make noise. The net's going to tag. The swing is there. Astralis gets a kill. One step closer. Make that 2. All of a sudden, YFP on the back foot. And they can't really escape out towards spawn because you've got Starbound behind enemy lines. Oh, it's a disaster for YFP. They're crumbling. The ult from Astralis. Killed. Scary Shark. 3 on the round, leaving things in a 1v1. Unbelievable. What a flank. What a retake. What a play from Astralis. 13-10 for WADA.
the layers on that flank were insane because first of all, you saw the smoke off of the trip. That was number 1. The second